If historic homes and tree-lined streets are what you're searching for in Boise, then I have just the place for you. In this video, I'll discuss what you need to know about living in the North End of Boise. And wait till the end, and I'll reveal what I love most about the North End. The North End is truly a one-of-a-kind in the Treasure Valley. You simply won't find any other neighborhoods like it. It has these historical, character-filled homes, tree-lined streets, sidewalks where the community is out strolling, and community hotspots and cafes and restaurants. It's just always bustling. It's got this truly unique vibe about it, which makes it such a special place to live. The North End's significance dates back to the late 1800s when it became the first neighborhood platted in the Boise area. The year was 1878 and the suburban development only spanned a couple of blocks. But by 1891, the area was booming and it began a 25-year building spree. At that time, the lots were subdivided and relatively small. So what people would do is purchase multiple lots so they would have a longer street frontage. Many of the homes built 120 or 130 years ago still stand today. So driving down the street, you'll find bungalows and Tudors and Craftsman and ranch style. And since it was originally developed as a middle-class, working-class neighborhood, most of the homes are relatively modest in size, but then you'll have these huge Victorian-era properties scattered throughout the area. The North End has this energy all its own. Like I mentioned before, it's a totally walkable community. So it's not uncommon to head to, say, Hyde Park District, where you can hit Goody's Soda Fountain for a candy or a soda, or maybe Hyde Park Pub, or maybe even the Lost Grove Brewery after a hike or a mountain bike ride. And you will absolutely pull up on a Saturday afternoon and see mountain bikes lined up in front of the brewery for sure. So when looking for a home, what's most important to you? The character of the home or the amenities that are offered within that community? Comment below. I'd love to hear your thoughts. Camelback Park and Highland Hollow are just north of the North End. So you have access to hiking and biking. And if you follow those trails, it basically opens up into this expansive Boise foothill area with all of their trail systems. You can hike and bike right out your front door. And that's the super cool thing about living in the North End. You just get on your bike and go, and you have super close access to all of the outdoor activities. And then you're not far from Bogus Basin Road either, which would lead you right up to Bogus Basin for skiing during the winter or just outdoor fun during the summer. And then of course, the North End offers super easy access to downtown Boise as well. It's just a few blocks south. And downtown Boise is super maneuverable. Like, you can get around on foot or by car. It's just never crowded. And then of course, with that easy access to downtown Boise, you'll then have the access for the shopping and more restaurants and businesses that make up the downtown area. If you're new to my channel, hi, I'm Erica Toffel, a global real estate advisor with Group 1 Sotheby's International Realty. I specialize in helping you relocate to the Boise, Idaho area. And I love it when you're interested in these old historical neighborhoods and the incredible homes that they have. So if you need help with any of your real estate needs, from historical homes to new construction, my information is on the screen. And please be sure to like, subscribe, and hit the bell so you get notified every time I drop a new video. And if you're watching on your television screen, you can scan the QR code in the corner to contact me directly. I mentioned before, there are a wide variety of home styles available in the North End. And since it is a historic district, the vast majority of these homes are going to be old, although some have been taken down to the studs and completely rebuilt, but still retaining that old world architecture and charm. But because the neighborhood was originally developed as a working class neighborhood, your home sizes are going to be fairly modest in size, but that's not to say that you don't find these enormous colonial or Victorian style homes, especially along the dramatic tree-lined street of Harrison Boulevard. So Harrison Boulevard was named after Benjamin Harrison, who was president at the time that the city or this specific area really started to take off, and that was 1891. And it's characterized by its super wide street with this median running down the middle of it and beautiful trees everywhere. But on the side streets that lead away from Harrison Boulevard, it's not uncommon to find a 2,000 or 2,200 square foot home for nearly $1 million because of its historical significance. Then those larger palatial type estate properties that might be 5,000 square feet and span 5 lots, those might run around $2.5 million, maybe more depending on how much it has been updated. But if these seem out of your budget, there are homes in the North End that can be found for $600,000 or $700,000. As a side note, Harrison Boulevard sort of divides the North End into two sections. The original section, which was declared a historical district in 1994, and then the expanded North End Historical District, which falls to the west of Harrison Boulevard, that was declared a historical district in 2004. Buying into a neighborhood like the North End, if the home has not been updated, then you need to be aware of the specific design guidelines for residential historical districts that you must adhere to if you're going to remodel your home. It makes sense, right? If you're purchasing a home within that historic district, you want to know that the character of the neighborhood will be preserved, and that will be done through preservation laws or ordinances or processes, building processes. And that's what helps maintain your property's individual value within that larger community. The city of Boise has a 100-page plus document that outlines the guidelines for remodeling or making additions, especially for things like accessory dwelling units, which I have talked about in multiple other videos. So if that's something you're looking into, then be sure to check those videos out. But the intention is to limit the designs that may try to significantly change, say, the exterior of a home, which could impact the overall feel of the neighborhood and the properties surrounding it. Let's see how well you know the North End so far. What is the name of the main road that divides the North End into the original historical district and the expanded historical district? Is it A, Franklin Boulevard, B, Harrison Boulevard, C, City of Trees Boulevard, or D, Boise Boulevard? The first one with the correct answer will get a video shout out from me. The competitive nature of purchasing homes in the historical district is a bit random, to say the least. If the home is a unicorn, it's clean, it's updated, it has that charm, it's going to move really fast. But on the flip side, it is a very specific buyer pool that looks for homes in the North End. It has to be someone who appreciates that old world charm, doesn't mind that the homes have more of a compartmentalized floor plan. So that buying pool might be a little smaller than it would be in other areas. But again, the North End District offers so many community amenities, and then in contrast, that expands the buying pool up to those that really want walkability and adventure out their front door. There's just so much to do at your fingertips. Another important note about properties in the North End is very often they will not have attached garages. You'll be very lucky for it to have a garage. You've hit the lottery if the garage is attached. Most instances, you might have a detached garage, but probably only fits one, maybe 1.5 cars. Remember, it was built in the early 1900s. And absolutely expect your property taxes to be more than 1% of your assessed value. The North End is serviced by the Boise School District. So there are a number of schools that make up this area. So elementary schools, you've got Washington, Lowell, and Longfellow Elementary. Then you have North Junior, which is the local middle school, and Boise High School. And the Boise School District is known for its strong school district, so a lot of people will move here specifically for that. Then there are a number of private schools that are nearby as well, like Boise Christian or St. Mary's. We also have a couple of international schools, which again make this area super desirable if you're looking for that diverse educational experience for your children. And of course, Boise State University is found just on the other side of the Boise River, so it's super close too. As for my personal favorite thing about the North End, well, I could tell you a restaurant or a pub or even a park, but honestly, it's the architecture. I know, total surprise coming from a gal that sells homes, but there you go. I grew up in a home that was built over 100 years ago, and there is just something about the nostalgia, that old world charm that is hard to capture in new construction. And having the opportunity to tour these old homes, it's like taking a step back into history, even if just for a moment, and seeing how families lived 100 years ago when maybe cars weren't so prevalent, so garages weren't as important, or you couldn't buy anything off of Amazon to overfill your closets. Obviously, it was a different lifestyle, but just super cool to immerse yourself in that, even for just a few moments. Or if not, to make it your new home. But how about this? If you're looking for a home in the North End, we'll go tour a few properties and then we'll head to Hyde Park to one of the local restaurants, and you can decide for yourself which is your favorite. For more videos on Boise, Idaho, or for real estate tips in general, please check out one of the other videos on the screen. Thank you so much for watching, and I'll see you on the next one.